Washington and Spokane. And it truly is outrageous. I agree with you. Thank you, Mike. Let's go to Wayne in Texas. Wayne?
Yeah, David, I think this thing's possibly just another false flag. I was watching it this morning, and you see the cops come out after the hostage. You know, okay, if the cops in there, why didn't they do the flashbang thing while they were in there? And then in another little video, it looked like another cop came out another door. So I think this is Australia's indoctrination into the police state.
Well, certainly it looks like they're going to try to spin this into ISIS, even though this man, who was the presumed hostage taker, had no connections to ISIS or al-Nusra. Nevertheless, we've got a former CIA chief. We have this article up on Infowars.com, says ISIS is going to attack the U.S. soon. So that's it. They're trying to make that connection. And, you know, most Americans are going to look at this and they're going to say, yeah, that's right. We need to declare war on somebody in the Middle East and let's go get these guys. And they're not going to make the distinction as to whether or not this guy was a lone shooter. They're going to instantly identify him with ISIS or al-Nusra in their minds, and then they're going to justify going to war. That's why you have these types of things. But that certainly is how it's going to be used. Thank you, Wayne. Let's go to Tim in Tennessee. Tim?
Hi.
Hey, go ahead.
I just wanted to say this nonsense about the Republicans taking over again, and all of a sudden, I'm 59 years old, and the same thing has been going on, Democrat, Republican, and one's going to fix what the other one is going to fix it, and it's never going to change. But besides that, my thing is, I want to know when somebody's going to come out and start saying it like it is. These people, like, all right, for a perfect example, Obama, right? When he traded that guy Bergdahl for 4 people in Guantanamo Bay. That was a felony.
Yeah.
How come he wasn't indicted?
Oh, yeah.
Is it he can't get indicted because he's president or something? And all the people that go along with it, isn't that conspiracy if they go along with a crime?
Absolutely.
How come these people aren't? So I'm wondering why the people who supposedly are for we the people aren't coming out and saying these people should be indicted, held accountable, and if prison time is due after they get convicted, because they will be convicted. These people are just out of control.
Well, the problem is that the Republicans, I don't believe, really want to constrain anybody's power because they just want to get the levers of power. That's the underlying problem with all of this, and that's the corruption. When you look at what just happened with the budget bill, when you look at the fact that they ran on shutting down Obamacare, on turning back amnesty, which is not even an executive order. I mean, it was just a decree from Obama. We have, later on the week, we're going to have Jerome Corsi on again. We had him a couple of weeks ago when he looked at the actual record and saw that Obama never filed any order. He didn't sign anything. He signed a couple of orders in front of the press and said he was signing an amnesty order, and yet he didn't. He didn't sign anything. He didn't file anything. He's just pronouncing it. And, of course, the real issue here, what they're really trying to get out in front of people is the message to people all over the world that anyone can come here and live off of the American state. That's the real message. They want to incentivize illegal, uncontrolled, open immigration. And it's a way to take this country down. And, of course, the Republicans don't want to push back against that because the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and big business wants to have open borders. They want to have competition at the bottom end of the wage scale. So they're not going to do anything to prosecute this. There's issue after issue after issue. They could have taken Obama to court. They could have impeached him. They could have jailed people who were underneath him, but they don't prosecute any of these issues because they want to keep the power. Thank you so much, Tim, in Tennessee. Let's go to Robin in Oklahoma. Robin.
David?
Yes.
I just wanted to make a statement about the assassin called abortionist in War Acres, Oklahoma.
Yes.
There's a picture on the Facebook page of the abolitionist website, the Facebook page, that shows the exact same police officer arresting Naresh Patel, the same one arrested pro-lifers, abolitionists last year. So this lesser magistrate can be on both sides of the law. They were not breaking the law at all, but the same police officer arrested both sides.
Wow. Wow. So the picture that you see of the, of course, he's been arrested before. He's been charged several times, and he keeps getting away with it, kind of like the CIA, doesn't he? Almost looks like they want that to happen.
It's only when he wasn't killing babies is when he was arrested. This is where we are in our country.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, very, very ironic, isn't it? But, of course, he was exposing the women there to something that was very dangerous, and they were not even pregnant. But he was telling them that they were pregnant and giving them RU-486, as we pointed out earlier in the show. That can cause hemorrhaging. It can be very dangerous. That's why we had the bill that was passed here in Texas that said that made qualifications for abortion clinics that they had to be able to handle complications. And there was a big kickback on that. It didn't work too well for Wendy Davis. That's what she based her entire political career on, and she was defeated by Greg Abbott. We're going to be right back taking your calls. Stay with us.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Yes, family and friends are gathering to give gifts and wish health and security. But why not enhance cell phone and wireless device security all year with Block-It Pocket? A family-owned American business, we now have 2 spectacular holiday specials. Find them now at our new website, blockitpocket.com, or call 888-315-9618. Hurry, holiday special ends Christmas Day. Give the gift of security from blockitpocket.com, wishing you health, freedom, and liberty.
The lining of your lungs is supposed to be protected with glutathione to neutralize incoming irritants. In the absence of enough glutathione, your lungs are more prone to irritation. Listen to the real-world results of one man using a powerful glutathione-supporting food.
Hi, my name is Bill O'Brien. I generally suffer through an asthmatic breathing type situation. My breathing is shallow and generally constricted in the nose and lungs. After consuming One World Way today, I have tremendous energy and also notice my breathing is free. I can feel the air in my left nostril, and it is free all the way to my abdomen, which is pretty remarkable because I rarely get that feeling. Being a singer, I love feeling this unrestricted voice. The only thing new I've actually added to my routine is One World Way. Wow.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldway.com. That's oneworld, WHEY.com.
Did you know by age 50, half of all men have an enlarged prostate? This means more urges to urinate, longer bathroom trips, waking at night to urinate, or issues with sex. If this sounds familiar, call us now, because we're shipping free bottles of Super Beta Prostate to listeners of this station. Super Beta Prostate is a non-prescription formula guaranteed to reduce the symptoms of your enlarged prostate. It's yours free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-852-1820. In clinical trials, the ingredient in Super Beta Prostate was shown to reduce urges to urinate, improve bladder emptying, reduce waking at night to urinate, and improve quality of life. This Super Beta Prostate free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Don't wait. Just call 1-800-852-1820. That's 1-800-852-1820. Call 1-800-852-1820.
Watch me, I got it. Watch me.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight on this Monday, December 15th, 2014. Paul Joseph Watson is going to be joining us in the next hour to talk about this development in Sydney, Australia. We had a captive situation there. Australian hostages have been freed there. He's going to update us on the details of that, as well as looking at what's behind it. Reports have come out that the man responsible for taking Australian hostages is an Iranian mystic. That's an article up on Infowars.com from Kurt Nimmo. He is not ISIS. He is not al-Nusra. He's not al-Qaeda. But, of course, it's going to be used for that, I believe. The former CIA chief says that ISIS will attack the U.S. soon. That's an article up by Kit Daniels on Infowars.com. So we're going to talk to Paul Joseph Watson in the next hour, get his take on what he believes happened there, as well as how that is going to be used. But right now we're taking your calls before he joins us. And let's go to John in Oklahoma. John, you want to talk about Australia? Go ahead.
Yes, I do. First, let me ask, there was a news item last week on Tuesday, I think it was, on The Blaze, about some mayor here in the United States. I didn't catch that first couple of sentences of his message, that he believes that owning weapons is a symptom of a mental illness. And he sent out his police force door to door to houses and apartments, asking the residents there if they had guns, and if so, would they please turn them in?
Well, that's essentially what we heard from that deputy in Spokane, Washington, that they needed those MRAPs because they had constitutionalists out there with weapons and lots of ammunition. That's what they're training for. What's that?
I lived down in Australia for a year, but that's been several years ago. I've been corresponding with a woman from 2009 until today, and she told me in 2009 they had a terrible drought down there, and at that time there was a very suspected roaring fire. You know what I mean? A brush fire.
Yes.
The flames were 4 stories tall. They were traveling at 60 miles an hour. They burned out 5 towns just north of Melbourne, killing well over 200 Australians. They were looking for 2 Middle East men who were in that area prior to the fire breaking out. Those men later were seen leaving on aircraft out of the country under false passports that were provided by their embassies. And there were 3 more they were seeking, and they think they disappeared by some ship that was brought to the coast and then took them away quietly that way.
Well, that underscores why we always need to look carefully at any of these incidents to make sure that we're not being goaded into a war with somebody that is not really a threat to us, because false flags, whether they're Reichstag fires or whether they're outback wildfires, can always be used to pump up the population to go attack somebody else at the will that our government wants to go fight for whatever reason.
Told me that there's a tremendous public backlash against allowing Middle East Muslims and these refugees from Indonesia coming in who are basically living off welfare with large families. And the Muslims are all campaigning to get a Sharia law parallel legal system for themselves, first in Perth in Western Australia, and then later in Victoria and British and New South Wales. So,
well, that's what they're doing worldwide. That's what they're doing in Western Europe. That's what they're doing in North America. I'm not surprised to see them doing it in Australia. It's a divide and conquer strategy where they will bring in disparate groups that are going to compete against each other and then also utilize the welfare state in a Cloward and Piven strategy. That was something that these political scientists put forth back in the 1960s, saying we're going to set up an entitlement state and then we're going to flood it and collapse the economy. That's what they're looking for. Stay with us. We're going to be right back with Paul Joseph Watson. We'll take a couple more of your calls in the first segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
You let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime Directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.